NSFW, what misconceptions did you have about sex when you were younger that you find laughable now? I genuinely 100% thought that some men had hollow penises and that's how gay sex worked. That's called docking. My mum is a doctor, so she brought me and my siblings up to be comfortable talking about body parts so that we would understand what was and wasn't okay for people to do. When she first told us how babies were made, I asked how people were supposed to have sex without seeing each other, since it's not okay to look at other people's private parts. 10-year-old me then went on to literally describe what I now know to be a glory hole to my parents. Your mom must have tried so hard not to laugh at that time. She still does. As embarrassing as it is, I have to admit that it's pretty hilarious. Even still, it's only the second most embarrassing thing I said when I was a kid. I think now we all want to hear the first most embarrassing thing. I thought two people laid on their sides facing each other while covered with blankets. That was it. That was sex. I think you've played too much Sims. I think your Sims game isn't modded enough. I thought if you thrust your hips really, really fast, you'd be like a human vibrator that women couldn't resist. Ah, the old jackhammer. You nailed it. Always thought the vaginal opening was roughly where the penis would be on a guy. Kinda surprised at how far back I had to go when I first found out. Lol. I had opposite idea. I thought penis goes straight down between men's legs and was shocked when I saw the truth for the first time. Can you imagine the chafing? My older brother advised me to use Crisco for lube when having sex for the first time. He said that it was inexpensive, slippery, and would last longer. When the time came, the girl I was dating was horrified. She said, "What do you think I am, a frying pan? You should never use Crisco. It's shortening." God damn it, r/angry upvote. When I was 11, all of my friends and I thought that you could never get a girl pregnant if the condom was black. We thought the sperm would get lost or too confused to find an egg in the dark. This caught me off guard. Ha 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 ha. I don't think I ever had any actual misconceptions, as I learned from a very early age exactly what happens. But I did have a hard time understanding how both urine and sperm can come out the urethra, without any knowledge of the internal anatomy of that area. It's just weird that the same hole/tube has two different purposes. I couldn't fathom how two different inputs could connect to the same output, so to speak. I mean, your mouth does the same with air, food and water. Sometimes urine and sperm also. I remember at the tail end of high school a group of us, we were sitting under a tree talking about sex when one guy suddenly declares his hatred for doggy style, ranting about the smell and the poo on his dick, and how it didn't feel good for him and his girlfriend, but everyone seems to love it. Everything just went silent, and we all started looking at each other. Then this one guy pipes up and says, You know you can put it in her vagina from behind, right? I'll never forget the sudden look of realization that appeared on his face when he heard that, and then proceeded to pretend like he was just testing us. Now that is a story for the history books. Yep, one for the annals of history. I wanted to know if boys could have periods. Never asked anyone. Also, I thought during the act, the man stuffs his soft penis inside the woman, and they lie still. The man on top of the woman, awaiting ejaculation like a data transfer, before disconnecting from each other, all very still and silent. I started sexual education around age 8, and at the end of every session we were given paper to write down questions we wanted answered. I remember asking this question as my first ever question. It was brushed off by the teacher, who gave an answer that left me even more confused, and went and answered for me. Until I was much older, I asked, in much less eloquent words, when a woman has ejaculate inside of her, there is a lot of sperm that aren't successful. What happens to that? I had seen the anatomy. I knew the cervix had to be breached. We were shown silhouette style graphics of knob to cervix transfer of semen. So I figured lots made it through. I didn't think you would keep every load you received between periods up there. But, what happened to it? Turns out sex is really messy. Took very little searching online to scar the immediate loss of my naive innocence into my memory forever. Okay, I'm a teen, and I do not know the answer. Can you tell me? Lol. It just leaks back out of the woman. Sometimes immediately, sometimes a few minutes later. What the movies don't show you is the unceremonious trip to the bathroom most women take pretty shortly after the sex is over. Otherwise, the jizz would just end up on the sheets pretty quickly, and no one wants that. Lol. Also, friendly reminder to all women to pee after sex. Bladder infections suck. Just to be clear though, peeing doesn't get rid of the semen in your vagina. Not me, but a buddy from high school. The group of us all thought we had about the same understanding about the mechanics of sex. Apparently that was not the case. This buddy of ours gets himself into a relationship and he and his girl are about to take it to the next step. The first time they have sex, he apparently stopped midway through with a strange look. When his girlfriend asked him what's wrong, he told her he wasn't sure how he was going to get his balls in there too. I'd pay money to see the look on her face after that. What's wrong? Well, I can't figure out how I'm gonna fit my balls in there. There simply isn't enough room. And the angle is way off. This man has the balls to ask a girl to have sex. No wonder why they wouldn't fit. Blowjob equals blow, literally on the guy's pee-pee. That the person I married would only have sex with me. Haha. Ouch. The roles of the various orifices on the female body changed pretty much with the weather. Everything from they give birth out the butt and pee out the vagina to the reverse, and at one point over to thinking they do everything out the same opening. I also legit thought that, if you wanted to have a baby, during sex one of your balls would come out of your dick and into her stomach, meaning you pretty much only had 2 goes at it. My friend told me he had the same idea with the balls, and he has 5 siblings. He's not very good at math. The ball grows back after the baby is born. Duh. Makes sense. I thought that the penis was simply placed in the vagina, no thrusting, and after a while fertilization just occurred kinda magically. I think there was a rumor that Louis XIV and Marie Antoinette might have been a different French king used that method. It was only after several years without producing heirs that someone explained it to them. That I would immediately come once a girl's tongue touched my dick. Yeah, I'm in this post and I don't like it. I thought shagging meant rubbing your bums together. Shagadelic baby. A buddy thought you have to rub your penis on the clit until it was time to come. Didn't understand how condoms work. At least he knew about the clit. I thought during sex the guy WLDP into the girl's vagina, which was where I thought women peed from, and the pee that entered the girl WLDP back into the guy's dick, and that cycle WLD continue until both of us fell asleep. This is easily one of the weirdest ones I ever read. That sperms are separate people, like with hands and feet, and they can walk obviously. So, yeah, they get out of men bottoms. Not aware of anatomy completely, but bottoms. Okay, and then they work hard, climb heights and swim oceans to go to the women's bottoms. Because they are small in size, so even a 10cm height is a mountain height for them. And all the while they have to be safe. Because what if they get crushed under the bodies of these people while sleeping? And all this had to be done while people sleep. So, it was a tough hard journey for the sperms to meet eggs in women bottoms, and then baby is born. Let me introduce you to the homunculus. Link in description. Thank you so much. I love Reddit. I'll learn new things. I thought you needed tableware for eating out. Don't put your elbows on the table. Have some manners. When I was young I was jealous that my sister's butt crack went all the way to the front. We called it a front butt. When I first found out that a penis goes into a woman's vagina when I was about 9, I thought a guy just flapped his flaccid penis all over the woman's vagina until she'd had enough. Until I was about 12, and I discovered guys get boners, and that I had her actually hole up there, and I was like, oh, so that's where the penis goes then. Makes sense. Flapped his flaccid penis around until she'd had enough. Sometimes it do be like that. I never knew that there was a separate female organ. I thought it was just a penis. So when giving birth, penis just expands, and boom, you just peed a baby. Maybe something like this. Link in description. Question mark? WTF. All my years on the internet, and somehow you'll still manage to shock me, lol. Hey, I'm legitimate question and kinda awkward to ask, but does a condom prevent a guy from ejaculating, or just contain it? It's a good question. A condom just contains it. Oh cool, thanks. but does that mean it's possible for some to leak out into the vagina? If the condom breaks, then yes. Oh, thank you for answering my questions. Good luck, young stallion. When I was younger, just a bit before puberty, I would have sex dreams and, inevitably, and having never gotten a close-up of a vagina, would dream that a vagina was just this generic hole. That's all it was, a nondescript hole. My imagination just couldn't put together the whole picture. I believe that you just have to put your dick in once, and keep it there for some time, and this duration will give you immense pleasure. I had no concept of stroking. I thought men's nipples were just like women's nipples. I was so shocked when I realized you guys can't detach them. Wait, what, detach? We have to wash them once in a while. Up until age 19 or so, I legitimately thought women were physically incapable of enjoying sex, and only did it to either manipulate their partner or keep from getting beaten. I know better now, but high school was not fun. Sounds like your parents had a relationship for sure.